Today's Friday, January 17th. Special meeting. It's 10 o'clock and I guess I should read my little script. Today, meeting is being held both in person and via Zoom. To ensure timely completion of the town's business, the following procedures will be followed. All participants must keep microphones muted. Videos turned off except during citizens' comments or when called on to speak by the board. Per section 7.3 of our procedures and rules of order, we allow 15 minutes total for citizens' comments. Each speaker has up to 3 minutes to speak. Please state your name and address before speaking. If your comments exceed 3 minutes or the allotted time expires, please send your comments to town hall's correspondence for the board's response. If multiple citizens share the same comments, please be brief. Unspoken comments can be submitted to town hall for inclusion as correspondence at the next regular meeting. We'll do a roll call.
Mayor Meyer.
Here.
Trustee Martinez.
Here.
Trustee Paulson.
Here.
Trustee Oglesby. Here. Trustee Maninakis.
Here. And the other trustees?
Trustee Lakai is absent with notice. Trustee Kinney or Mayor Pro Tempore Kinney is absent without notice as well.
Thank you. Next we have approval of agenda. I'm gonna add a couple things onto the agenda. Number one, we're gonna add this operating agreement with the First Southwest Bank regarding the cash management system so that we can get that worked out. They're just requiring some stuff. Oh, it's on there. That's good. All right. What was the other thing you had?
The request to rent the Alder room by James.
Oh, yeah. McAlpin request, put that on as a D. And I'd like to discuss the grant a little bit. So TE and what we had agreed on it with the grant.
What grant?
What grant? Sorry, the bricks grant.
I have to be out of here by 11, so.
I do too.
Okay, well, let's start going.
Yeah.
I'd like to entertain a motion to approve agenda as amended.
Make a motion that we approve the agenda as amended.
1 second.
All in favor? Aye. Next, we have citizens' comments, please. No, none. Anyone on Zoom? No? Okay. Hearing none, seeing none, we will move on to new business, proposed budget. So I'd like to remind everybody, this is a draft. Still needs more work for sure. We need to create some work sessions in between this time and the 27th to just get it up, and the public is invited with the draft in hand, so anybody like Warren who can come and we can keep working on it and keep trying to dial it.
I don't think you can.
Well, we have to have something. So we're either running off 90% of last year's budget, or we're gonna have to use this, what we have, and try to get it dialed to a point where we can actually function. There's a lot of expenses we know we have. There's a lot of expenses that we know that are set, and they're gonna be, expenses that we have to spend money on. For instance, personnel, we know we have, to have that in the budget, we know we have to have, attorney, auditor, law enforcement, all this stuff has to be, in there. So we need to go through the things that are controversial, which are, right now, the biggest mistake I see is the capital reserve contribution. When that got put in, it was a negative, and I don't know, it got turned as a positive.
Andrea did that.
Yep, and I don't understand exactly how that's supposed to get put in. to the budget, but it
Yeah,
needs to be a negative, right?
I also, I mean, when, in the way we were discussing it the other evening, it sounds like it should be a negative, because it's in the revenue side of the budget as it is presented here, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But it is a reserve. So it's like, it's, it's a positive in the sense that it's money we have, but it's a negative in the sense it's money that we're not supposed to spend. Right?
but it also comes out of our sales tax as every month as 0.5% of, so it's 1/7 of our sales tax, basically.
Right, so I'm not what I'm, cause she did incorporate reserve, we listed out all of the reserves that we needed at our last meeting. And had them tallied up and she put in restricted reserves, $57,315. From what I remember from our meeting, it was more like 135 or something in there. Which
still have
with
the
that
old-
77,
You still have the old one?
It was 145,
145, right? So,
which I believe is also
Oh, there it is.
40,000 short. It's
How
what,
much?
43,000 as I recall, but
Because of,
they don't have 2023's numbers in there.
so. Yeah, I'm not. I wasn't able to, talk, I sent Andrea an email asking her some questions, she didn't get back to me. So. I'm not totally sure about like some of the changes she made, or, I mean, she knows better than I do, I'm not a bookkeeper. But it seems like,
the other thing that happened on this draft that was that there was some changes that Ariel made that you can see some are up and some are down, but she didn't put it into the actual general column. So it has to be updated that way. So the right column is the adjusted one and the left column is now what it was. So if you look at that, you can see some of the changes. So that has to be updated.
I'm sorry, Benji,
The
what,
right column, this is total,
yeah,
far right,
MSP.
is updated by Ariel based on her assessment of the budget.
okay,
So if you notice, like, for instance, she lowered town hall personnel by some,
okay, so that's why where it doesn't always match up between general and total. Because you adjusted, okay.
ideally, you would do that, and I think it's supposed to shift the total.
Mhm.
The total should be different,
Huh?
the total should be a different number.
Total is adjusted by Ariel based on her assessment, and for instance, the big one is personnel. Town hall personnel got lowered by $15,000, and then public works got raised up by 13,000. All right, yeah, 13.
So,
We can. If you notice in personnel travel and training, went from 1,000 to 2,000 because there wasn't enough in there and we had talked about that at the work session. Mileage got upped a little bit by $600.
I also lowered the marijuana sales tax based on our actual numbers, I took that from 14,000 to 10,000.
okay,
Make those adjustments now.
I can fix them.
I mean, as far as that kind of stuff goes, like, you know. All right. Ariel obviously has a better idea of what the actual cost of these things are.
We spent a pretty good amount of time dealing with those reserves the other day, and I wanna make sure that those reserves are correct. We need, they come directly out of our beginning balance. And they need to be adjusted for this year, so. If you have those reserves, do you have the previous copy that Dana?
Yeah, it should still be in your drive. I can't remember what you called it, but I think Andrea saved it as a new.
Yeah,
And
she
sent it
had
out to
to. In order to edit it, she had to, so here's this copy, which should be the one we worked off of. Yeah, I just, not. In the copy we worked on the other day, our total reserves, so that included a special sales tax saving, the burial, water sewer reserve, rental deposits, operating and Tabor. It was $374,000 and $374,023.20.
You put that into unrestricted or restricted reserves?
But obviously, Andrea changed this.
Well, I think what happened was she didn't understand the 77,000 that actually comes out of sales tax.
That should be a negative.
It goes into reserves, really. It's supposed to go into the water sewer reserve is what it. So that would be in the line, the row and line, column of WS capital reserves. That would be 77,000. It would be a negative out of our sales tax. So just so everybody knows what that is. I found out mostly, through Warren understands it better because he was really active in it, but it was basically, there was a ballot issue in 2021 that went before the public, and it said, should 0.5% of our sales tax go into a water and sewer capital fund to be used in like emergencies, right? Or like, no, not emergencies. Just for if we need,
You've got two different things. You've got the ballot and you've got the resolution and they don't match. There's the first part. Okay, the resolution allows you to use 10% of the
that,
half a percent. For operations, the balance of which would go to the capital reserves. The ballot only states the whole thing going to the capital reserves. And I believe that goes into effect on January 1st of 2023. So there was a ballot in 21 and a ballot in 22. The one in 22 is the one that Leslie initiated.
and that had to do with the 10%. Or not,
That her goal was to make it so that we were keeping the enterprise fund, but the enterprise fund was not
functioning.
functioning legitimately. So that's where I think there's $43,000 missing, or some number like that. I don't remember the exact number.
Because we did move,
It's not on here.
or it got taken out and used as 10%, right?
Now, there's another part. Some parts of it did get used, but I don't think that much of it.
So the ballot's correct, the resolution's wrong.
No, they're both correct. Okay, and the ballot probably takes precedent over the resolution.
So in that case, he's saying that there was more money that didn't come out of that sales tax. At 0.5 that was supposed to come out, that never did come out, and you're saying there's 40 something missing.
And then some amount of that. Some amount of what went into the reserves has been spent. Okay,
From when that 40 grand you're talking about, what year was that?
23.
Okay, so I'm not saying that that is not important, because it is, and is part of why the forensic audit should be in the budget. But for the particular conversation we're having right now, we can't do anything about that $40,000. Because we don't know until we do that type of audit. So, but what we can do is not let it happen again.
Yes,
By taking
we can also,
by taking the 10% out.
So some was spent and the rest is missing?
not missing, just got put in general fund and spent, yeah, spent. In the way it wasn't supposed to be spent.
I don't know whether it was spent appropriately or not. Money was charged against that account for what I believe is something related to water and sewer, or whether it is appropriate, I don't know. The problem you're faced with is bigger than all of the work we did the other day. All of the numbers we picked the other day, good or bad, right? Or only that part of it.
So bring up the actual essence, actual like essence of the
Doesn't
whole
mean
problem.
California, here, I wrote it, got it broken down. The formatting is no good, the balances are incorrect. The budget for 2024 is not accurate, the items are in the wrong categories, items are in the wrong rows. Amounts are wrong and doesn't comply with Colorado state law. And I don't think you can fix that today.
We're definitely not gonna fix all those today, but
And you need to fix it today before you turn it over to the public.
or we're gonna have to cancel our public meeting again. And it's just gonna get carried over into. And unfortunately, we're gonna be still spending money just the same way that this budget kind of says, because that's what we're. I mean, it's gonna be a very similar spending as this says. It's just maybe doesn't look exactly the way that it's supposed to look. So, I mean, do you guys feel like we should cancel the public hearing and just
Well, is it,
keep focusing on trying to get the formatting right and getting it up to standard for Colorado?
I have a question. Isn't that part of the process is to have the public, as it's happening now, mention these things? And then if it's correct, those adjustments are made in this draft. Don't we have to still follow this procedure of adopting this draft for corrections?
I mean, if it's so screwed up as Warren says,
Or do we
that-
just stop the process?
well, that's what I'm wondering is this, I mean. Until we actually get audits from 23, this is not gonna be, cause it says even here, 23 unaudited.
Mhm.
I mean, it's what the auditor has, but it's not necessarily what the auditor, has audited. And then 24 is still kind of a mess. So we still have to get 24 up to a certain place, but in order to actually move on into this year, you know, we do have some numbers that we do know for a fact are, you know, what's happening.
I don't believe you know anything.
We know what we're getting in
You
sales
haven't had a
tax.
financial statement in 17 months. Let that sink in, okay? You don't know how much you're spending in any category correctly for 17 months.
I mean, that's not inaccurate. Like, you know, Kim. We were in a real, you know, we didn't really get very accurate numbers all year long, so Warren's definitely not incorrect in saying that. And that's like, to me, it's like. we either, if we use 90% of 2024 and 2024 is incorrect, then like, is it better to do that, or is it better to go into 2025 and try to create something that is correct?
2022, correct?
No,
Probably not.
there hasn't been a supplemental budget. In now, I think it's 4 years.
And so that's, to me, why it would make more sense to approve the draft of 2025. And start because we're gonna have to do a supplemental budget, because like you're saying. This budget is built on a shaky foundation. We will have to do a supplemental budget anyway. And we should be doing that. We haven't been doing it in the past, and we should be doing that in the future. So to me, knowing we're gonna have to make a supplemental budget, it makes more sense to go forward with the draft than to use 2024. But I'm open to dissenting opinions.
I agree with you,
Okay,
I do. Otherwise, we're nowhere, we're not going in it.
I mean, we know we're gonna have to fix it, like, we know it's not at where it needs to be right now.
I just have one question. You're very fairly confident that we're gonna have to submit a supplemental budget for 2025?
I mean, I think that there's
I'm just
No, it's for 24.
oh, for 2024, not for 25.
probably for both ultimately,
Well, I mean,
but yeah.
She and I have looked at it from a staff perspective, and we're not seeing too many things. That as far as our needs as staff go, that would need any, we kind of made our adjustments. There might be something you didn't see, but
Yeah,
I was just curious if you'd seen something in particular that made you say that.
I mean, I'm definitely for 24, just because we haven't had
Okay, yeah.
the numbers. And once we get those and look at them and like they're,
Okay.
if we're able to still submit a supplemental budget for that, and then for 25. There's a lot of things in here that probably are gonna come up that we don't have, like land use permits or like just other things that are blank that are gonna require us to have a supplemental budget.
Yeah.
Like the essential problem is that we haven't had, to me, is that we haven't had the staffing in place in the past to actually get numbers on what's being spent every month and where we're at. And that's the essential thing we need to have every single month this year. Like, we're in
Financial reports.
January, we need it this month. And I don't know if that's an Andrea thing, or if that's an Ariel thing, or if we need to be, or like, I think that's like a staff conversation we need to have. Cause we do need that statement for this month.
Yes.
But anyway,
Well, I think it starts with Ariel being directed to try to create a financial report for the month of January and every month from here on out. And if you have to use Andrea to at least, understand what you're trying to present. It's basically, all the expenses and revenue that have come in for the month, and we have to know. I mean, there's balance sheets as well that shows a lot more, shows our complete balances, including all assets and everything like that. But there are two different sheets. There's a profit and loss and a balance sheet.
because I mean, in a perfect world, this isn't that difficult. In a perfect world, we have the revenue and expenses in the same format every single month that can go into a spreadsheet, and at the end of the year, we have exactly what was spent and exactly what came in. Like, in a perfect world, it's not, like, with the right system, it's not that difficult.
The accountant and the auditor don't seem to be as concerned with the past as, period. Just kind of build on what you're saying, they seem to be just she seems to just be focusing on the 25 with no real concern about 24 or 23.
Well, I think they're concerned with 23, it's just that she did all the work, she's gonna get it to the auditor. One says that we're gonna not pass the audit, and so we'll see what the auditor says.
So she's going
He's
to,
basically gonna say to us, you guys have to have better controls on your finances, that's what he's gonna tell us, and that's what we're attempting to do.
right,
I mean, when you fail an audit, from what I understand, is there's a lot of critiques on what you're doing wrong. And a lot of it has to do with control, financial control. We have literally not been paying attention. And that's how this got so out of hand.
Yeah.
I mean, Lisa, I mean, for all we know, I mean, we don't know what Lisa's a piece of work. I mean, we got stuck with her because of Leslie. And then, I mean, he knows probably some history. A lot of people know history with that. So all I'm saying is that in the audits, you could honestly say, maybe there was some money stolen here. Who are you gonna blame? Like we're injured by it. Who are you gonna blame for it? And then are you gonna pursue that person if there was money stolen? I'm not saying there was money stolen. I'm just saying that might be what the but in this case, we know what's in the bank account.
right.
Right.
We know what we're spending on 95% of the stuff. We know what 95% of the income is gonna be. The reserves are a little tricky. You guys went through that. I thought it was a really good dialogue to get those reserves set. That's not a big deal. We set those reserves based on, I just feel like,
And we now have, Ariel's got the system with QuickBooks, like with collecting receipts. And, as long as we really stay, cause we sit in meetings and we just say like, okay, let's, we'll spend this much money on this. And just like all of that just has to be really well recorded and documented.
right, controls, good controls.
Yeah,
Well,
and we've got the bill paying system now, where we're going through all of the bills and so.
You're right. I mean, I think 24 and 23, like, it's unfortunate, but we're not gonna get it totally correct. And I don't think, I mean, the question is the public, I mean, is it like, that is like, how important is it to you guys to have it? Like, wouldn't you prefer us to have 25 moving forward with solid controls, working on our finance sheets, basically start fresh, because that's all we really can do. I mean, we know there's gonna be some bills that we can't put into the category that you might want. I mean, there's going to be some of that. Like you said, there's $7,000 that is uncategorized spending from 24. And it's a big deal, but even if it was 92% accurate, and there is 8% that we could not, that is like missing, 8% out of $7,000, what is that?
If I walk into your store, okay,
Mhm.
and open the cash register and take out only half the money, do you care?
The thing is, I had somebody stealing from us recently. They
Okay.
probably stole $10,000 worth. We are working on the accounting of that to try to figure it out. Are we gonna get that money back? Probably not. It's a loss.
Get the money
It's a
back.
loss.
Right, but do you care?
We care, of course we care, and we had to
Okay.
stop it.
So you're asking me, do I care? I care. Are you gonna be able to fix everything? Probably not. Are you gonna know everything? Probably not. But in my mind, if I look at this, and without knowing what got spent, because everything was such a mess, I'm assuming that $43,000 is missing.
Right.
Okay?
And you're saying it's missing from,
Missing from it's missing from your reporting,
but
it's missing from your account.
because, well, let's talk about how it's missing, because basically there wasn't that 0.5% that we received. We actually received the money, right?
Yes,
So that 0.5% didn't get taken out and put into that separate account. It was spent.
right.
So it wasn't that it's missing. It was just, it's not like it's gone, like that 42,000 is gone. It's,
It could be if you spent it.
well, like for instance, we're gonna be spending $56,000 on the
Hey,
payback for that under, the jetting and scoping, right?
Yeah.
So on some level, that would have came out of that account.
no.
It would have, because
No, it
it's,
would not have.
why? It's a,
That's not a capital expense. It's a large number, but it's not a capital.
we have an asset.
It's not an asset. You're not,
Those are assets. We're taking care of our assets.
you're repairing the asset. You're not making a new asset. A new asset is a capital expense. Repairing an old asset is not a capital expense. Now, maybe the accountants view it differently. That's how I view it.
I view it as we have an asset that was leaking, had a hole in it,
That's not.
and
the
it
way
got,
works. You buy a new building, it's a new capital asset you put into
but
operation.
if you improve on a building, it's still considered an asset. It goes into your
You
asset
do
count.
not improve
Yeah.
the building, you
We,
repair.
we improved our system.
It doesn't matter. You have no idea whether the money was spent in excess of what was appropriate.
But the 42,000, okay, so I agree that it's not, again, it just falls into the wrong place. It went into our general fund, we spent it in the general fund, and it was supposed to be in the W. So we could theoretically pull out of our main account, if we could figure it out exactly what it was, and put it into,
Which you're not
The
gonna be
reserves.
able to do right now, so like, this conversation is important, but not what we're talking about. Like, and I think what Warren serves as a representative that, cause we should care.
I know, we
Like,
do
and
care.
That, like, it's good that he comes and reminds us that
Totally.
we need to care about this. And we're like, we need to look at what we're, at this draft right now and figure out if we wanna approve it or not. I kind of feel like did you fix these reserves, Ariel?
No, I'm not sure how to fix, I fixed everything that I changed,
Oh, I see.
So 77,000 and 142 has to be a negative, and it comes out and then it goes into reserves in the water and sewer capital. Restricted reserves under that space there. You'll see it come out, but you'll see it as a reserve. At the bottom here. Right? That would be probably the best way to do it, right?
Well,
It's a negative out of our general fund because it comes into our general fund.
Mhm.
We take it out and we put it into a reserve that's called water and sewer capital fund.
So I think it should really go down here, yeah, there's there's water sewer capital, there's a column for it under restricted reserves.
Did she say why she did that?
No, she just
she said
said.
that she did it.
She did it, yeah.
Is that the way you had sales tax allocation for capital reserve as a negative number is not correct, I changed that,
You just said it's not correct.
yeah.
But then, I mean. The thing is, if we receive it in our general fund, right? Because you're getting all the money coming into our account. And then we're supposed to take 1/7 of that money and move it over. So it's actually coming out of general and going into water and sewer capital. And then that money is not supposed to be spent this year, so it can't go into the budget as like a income, it has to go into a reserve fund. Unless we decide to spend it on a capital project, but it's gotta go into a reserve. So it's kinda gotta get taken out and it's still shown. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, you don't have to convince me, I'm just telling you.
No, I'm just saying, I think it needs to go down into the reserves as a reserve, plus in the capital reserve fund. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, it did Monday night when we walked out of here and everyone seemed satisfied with what we had done.
In different places.
She's adding it in as though we're making it, as though it's going into our budget to be like, spent.
I think what she did was, like, if you're looking at it online, do you see this, Ariel? If you go up to the sales tax. We've got, she put 540 in column
Oh, I
W.
see what you mean.
And so I think she took out the capital reserve from our sales tax.
Huh.
So then our sales tax was 462, etc. Then she put a positive $77,000 in the capital reserve
Oh.
contribution because it is a positive amount of money that goes into that contribution.
I see what you mean.
And then if you go down to the bottom. She's got the 77,000, it is an adjusted net income at a loss. So I think we just need to put that 77,000 in that cell that you're already on, Ariel. And then that would put it in the restricted reserves. So I think it's just
Around, it's in the round.
I think she did it, I think she just,
I see what you're saying.
do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't think she did it
Cause
incorrectly.
we
She
had,
just
we
did
had
it.
said that we were gonna make $540,000 in
Right.
sales tax.
So she already
Subtracted that,
Yes.
took it out and then moved it over.
Yeah,
Okay, gotcha.
because it is a positive contribution to one of our accounts. We just don't get to spend it.
So we're leaving it as it is then.
I think so. I think,
Except that
to
it's
me,
in
the way she did it makes sense.
Okay. However, went into the totals on the right. As though we have that money to spend, is what I'm trying to say. So that's what I don't wanna see is that 77,000 needs to go into. Actual reserves, as though we made it, but not that it's there to spend.
Yeah, and that's kind of a disadvantage that we're at because none of us are actually bookkeepers and there's like specific ways to do that and we don't know exactly how.
But the thing is, if we think we have that 77,000 to spend,
Mhm.
then it's screwing up the budget,
True.
right? Am I kind of, so it seems like the restricted reserves. Are this place to put that because they're restricted in their reserves and then it comes out of our total.
Well, I think that would be where down here at the very bottom, we've got ending balance. Our ending balance would include our restricted reserves, and then you have restricted reserves under that. And then you have total unrestricted funds, which would be what we actually get to spend out of.
Right. But if you notice, it's mixed in. Net income. It's mixed in, so I don't.
I don't know.
And the reserves are not correct either, so you know. I don't know, I mean, what do you guys, I mean, what do you think, honestly? Cause, I mean. I actually. Like our budget as far as. Our expenditures. And I do think that besides this weird little thing here. We're pretty accurate on our, I'm sorry, I like our expenditures. Our revenue, I think is fairly accurate as well.
Right. And we did a fair amount of work the other night getting the grant stuff put in here. And we also, I mean, I feel like I think we came to a good understanding of what our reserves need to be. It's really just getting them put into the right place in this document. Is what I see. Like we calculated our Tabor, we talked about the operating reserve. And so it's really just like, where do those things need to be placed in this document?
Well, we had 77,000 in restricted reserves when we left here Monday, didn't we? Is that
It
what it
was
was?
145,000 to change. There was the 68,000 for the 24 and 77,000 for the 25 projected.
Yeah. Yeah, so for the water sewer reserve, it was $145,248. And that was, you know, the combined, like Lauren just said, the projected and from 2024. But one other thing that I'm not seeing in her reserves are, we put aside $70,000 for special sales tax saving. And I don't see that accounted for anywhere in here.
Right, that was the other thing that has to go in
There's
there.
a lot of stuff not in the right places.
She just took out some of the stuff.
We
Not
talking
knowing,
about, when you say she.
Andrea,
Andrea, sure.
I mean, yeah, it's more, yeah, she didn't incorporate it into what we had worked on, and so she came up, you know, she came up with this $57,000 total.
Unrestricted reserve,
Yeah,
yeah, I don't understand that.
which I'm not sure what combination of numbers she put together to get
I
57,000.
don't either, I just tried hitting that myself and I couldn't come up with it.
the reserves is 3 months of our budget, right? Or 4 months?
Should be true.
Three months of the budget minus the table reserve.
Minus the 3 months, so we figured that out.
Well, we have questions, why can't we all answer it?
You might be able to. I'd get our questions in order before we call it. If everybody has to leave at 11, we're not gonna get through this.
We're definitely not gonna get through all of the additions to,
So there's 2 ways to handle this. One is we have to postpone everything. Second way is to approve the draft and set up some work sessions and focalize in so that we have an actual. We're working with the public, everybody gets to contribute in our work session, and then we come into the 27th with something that.
I felt better, or more complete than when we left here Monday with those numbers in the place that they were and what they are now.
I agree.
Other than some of the additions that you made, moving some of that stuff around, that was fine, it didn't change the numbers at all. Not the total numbers anyway. So if we would do those corrections, I wouldn't have a problem with going with the draft.
you mean if we took Ariel's corrections and put them in
What we had.
what we had Monday? Yeah, it's there's just no way that the reserve she has at $57,000, that doesn't even really cover operating costs. If our operating is supposed to be 3 months. So that doesn't make any sense to me at all.
I actually don't think she totally understands this government, the government accounting that we have to work with, so. In that way, like she might understand numbers and be able to, but she doesn't understand that we have to have a reserve. Minus the Tabor, like. And then. You know, the way that 77,000 is put in. Doesn't make sense either, really.
It still doesn't come up to the right amount, though, it's like $10,000 short.
So the draft really has to be fixed.
Yeah,
Alright, let's postpone everything, we have to,
Alright.
we gotta keep working on it, so. I know what is it, 30-day notice? From today?
Can we proceed with the draft with corrections?
If we can get the corrections right. I mean, if we can get the corrections within, like how, similar to how we had them before and not. And you wanna go through everything right now?
I don't think we can. Everybody's gonna leave here at 11 o'clock.
I mean, yeah, I can't give all day to this right now, that's not.
I need a magnifying glass.
That's not possible for me today.
Thank you. I was able to find the 77, but the 56 that you referred.
Here,
57,
on the last page.
second to the last page, bottom, little legend thing.
Allison.
You gotta.
And
Let's
so,
move on to the rest of the agenda, I don't know.
Okay, so we're just gonna table this until,
so we were supposed to have a public hearing,
The 27th, like it's 10 days. Exactly 10 days for the public to review this. So,
I don't,
Can't submit something we know is wrong for the public to review, right?
yeah.
The money there is just how we're labeling it, you know, this goes here and this goes there,
Which is important.
but. Yeah, we show this to the public and it's,
What?
what's the pleasure of the board? What do you guys think? So here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna cancel the public hearing. We have 30 days from today. So it's gonna be February 17th or 18th or something. It's gonna be when the public hearing happens. We have to have a draft 10 days before that. And have another meeting to approve the draft.
I'll make a motion that we disregard this budget and move on with the, corrections to the draft. And cancel the public meeting.
For a second,
Second,
any more discussion on that? Redo the public hearing for. Plan,
the end of February,
Do we need to schedule a public hearing now, or should we make these corrections, review
which gets a notice it again,
before we even start to
30
schedule the
days.
public? Let's get this, we wanna get this draft done first.
When are you getting your audit?
What's that?
I don't know, I don't know.
No idea.
Without the audit, you can't do it at all.
That's what I was afraid of from the very start.
And 24 has to be audited too, or 24 has to be just, 23 has to be audited.
3 years of comparable data must be shown in the budget, the prior year's actual figures, the estimated figures through the end of the current year and budget year's data.
We have no indication from Ronnie,
how long?
I haven't heard anything from him.
so. We. Yeah, so we're back at. Operating at 90% of 2024's budget, or trying to move forward with a 2025 draft, we know isn't right. But I mean, I think we have to, by the end of January, if we don't have. The budget approved, we have to operate at 90% of 2024 for the rest of the year, correct?
Is 90% of a wrong budget better than?
Right. 100% of a better budget, that's what I asked in the beginning.
Is the last budget that was right 2021?
The last audited budget. Now, you have the 22 audit, which I don't have much faith in, but
It was done.
it was done by an accountant.
Is 2022 budget more than 24? 23?
Yeah, they were 22, 21, 22. Income and expense.
So would 90% of the last audited budget be good or not?
There is so much wrong with this document. And the numbers on this document. Beyond what you all agreed to Monday. Okay, the numbers you agreed to on Monday. Were the budget you're planning to spend.
I missed Monday.
Okay, well, anyway. Whether I like them or not doesn't matter. Those are the numbers that you're expecting to put into the 25 budget.
Right.
I can only say that there's stuff that appears wrong. That's being presented for the 23 budget here that doesn't appear to be correct. And there's stuff on the 24 budget that doesn't appear to be correct. So if those things are not correct and accurate, it doesn't matter what you do in 25 because you can't submit it. Based on what I read here from the statute stuff.
So this all needs to be fixed, audited first.
You're presenting a document that's supposed to be accurate.
We have two people working on the 23 and the 24 budgets. I don't know why it's taking so long. Ronnie seems to have been at it for quite a while now.
Not that long, he started
Only
in January,
2 weeks.
huh?
He's only had it 2 weeks.
Ronnie is only.
Yeah,
I thought he had it back in November.
he had stuff that Kim gave him,
Oh. I stand.
but he wasn't gonna
I
start
stand.
it with it.
Yeah, I get it. But the effect on 25. On its own is what? With the revenue and the expense that we have here now, whether you agree on how we need to spend it or not.
I guess from what I'm hearing from Warren's point is that because we don't have a correct. We don't have correct numbers for the past 3 years, we're basing what we're gonna spend off of numbers that are false.
But we're basing the numbers in 25 on what our anticipated revenue is and our anticipated expense. 23 and 24 and the mistakes or accuracy are standing on their own.
So without going into all the different numbers, the 25 budget took everything in 24 and plugged it into 25 originally. Am I correct?
Weeks ago.
And then weeks ago, and then it's been tweaked since then.
Mhm.
So you have no idea if the 24 numbers are real to begin with. That you use to plug into 25.
Well, things like, I mean, give us.
The obvious expenses, people.
So is the
No,
better to audit 24 first, then to get 25 and then audit the ones before there?
23, you need the 23 audit. Why
It's in the
that?
hands of the auditor.
Okay, the 23 audit was supposed to be done back in June of 24. All right? The budget process, I believe, starts in April. And works its way through the year. The board was supposed to have this, I think, no later than October 15th. So that just gives you an idea of how far behind on things this is. At some point, you need to say enough. Go hire an accountant. And get it done. That's all.
I just don't think an accountant's gonna do much better. Because the answer is basically an accountant. I know, not officially an accountant, but she has all the experience of an accountant. It's just she doesn't have all the information. Our information has been so screwed up, we're basically handing her things that she just does not know where they go.
I would give Andrea the benefit of the doubt in saying that she doesn't know what she doesn't know. Okay?
Right, and no accountant will know what it doesn't know.
Okay. But I will say, there are obvious things on this that any bookkeeper should be able to see as being grossly incorrect. And I'm not gonna go into them, but they're there and obvious to anyone that looks.
What I see as the true problem here is the delay in getting the information so we can proceed with 25. Because however those numbers are gonna come out, that's how they're gonna come out. And if there's any adjustment that's gonna be in 25, then that'll be another supplemental. But what's really holding us up now is the delay of 23 and 24.
We have a vote on?
All I have is a snarky answer and
We do have a motion.
Oh, here, I do.
Wait, hang on, we do have a motion and, sorry, you're right. This has been discussion. Will you read the motion again, please?
Motion to disregard this, move on with the corrections to the draft and cancel the public meeting.
She seconded.
Yeah, it's second.
Then,
First it is.
Are we gonna set up a meeting for February?
Well, then that's how we got it off on that
Alright,
one.
I mean, I think, yeah,
Interrupt, I just thought it.
No, you're right. You
we
got
got
it.
off because we don't really want to do that. It's not like, nobody really wants to continue to postpone this and like, I guess another thing I wonder is like, are we gonna get somewhere by postponing it? Are we really in the same position either way? We kind of are.
If you postpone it, you have time to talk to your bookkeeper. I think that's part of what's holding everyone up here is if there's questions that need to be answered and she seems to be the only one that can answer them, why she put things in certain places and didn't. So if you're gonna postpone it, I think you need to have work sessions with the person who's touching these numbers as well. Because I can touch them and I can explain to you why I touched and changed things. You need that from her
Yeah,
too. In my opinion.
yeah,
And no, I think the answer to your question on whether we're stuck at 90% after the 31st. I think we're stuck at that until we have actually approved a budget.
okay. I think then I maintain my second.
Okay. So any more discussion on that? All in favor? Aye.
Meh.
Greg, you got it.
I'm really having a problem.
Well,
I know.
we just need
More than that.
You're right.
It's okay that-
I think maybe we should invite Andrew to come here. Huh?
Where is she?
Far.
I mean, she can zoom in, but we like, Ariel's totally right, and we, like. When we make edits and then she takes those edits and re-edits them and doesn't explain how, or like why they're, I mean, it went from. Over $300,000 for all of the various reserves to $57,000, and so it's like, that's a huge discrepancy, that means, like, we need to know what the deal is.
Yeah, and bad spending that could take someone right down that road.
Right. And I would and I mean, honestly, with like these reserves that are state required, I'd rather there be more in there. That end up being like, oh, well, you could have put in 50 grand less, then there'd be not enough in there and we get screwed for it.
So Martin Luther King Day is on the 20th of next next Monday. What's Monday? Do you guys wanna have a work session and see if we can get Andrea to sit in for a couple hours?
I'm gonna be out of town from the 21st to the 8th.
I'm leaving Monday morning.
Yeah, so that's really unfortunate, but so I could, there's this weekend, there's Martin Luther King Day. I could come in for a work session,
Inauguration as well.
yeah,
I don't think you can get anybody to do anything on Monday.
but I will be,
Are you planning on working on the 20th or that's a day off? Yeah,
That's one of my favorite surprise holidays when going to school with Martin Luther King. I get off Monday.
So you're leaving Monday. So. We have to do this week, yeah.
Brooklyn Queens Day too, we would get out.
We're not, but we're not gonna fix it in a day and we need Andrea to be present.
I'm wondering how much we need her to be present. I thought when we walked out of here Monday evening that things were sitting pretty good.
Yeah,
Well, he
Not
did
counting 23 and 24. I'm not including that, and I'm just talking about 25. The numbers we put together then,
when do you get back?
I'll probably have to Zoom for a while. I got family schedule over and taking care of my two little granddaughters.
February. Our next regular meeting is on February. 10th.
The guy who's doing the auditing, does he have like the time?
Ronnie?
Can he think he can finish it by? He did 1 year and 2 weeks? Oh,
though he's still working on 23. And we don't, you know, the whole process with him took a very long time, so, but he's finally.
Well, this whole thing is, if I'm getting it right, comes down to the reserves. I'm not talking about the inaccuracies of 23 and 24. I'm talking about 25. Our estimated revenue and expenses is what they could be. But the reserve is the question, is that right? Am I right with that?
I don't believe,
Well, also,
I'm sorry to hear.
I don't believe you are correct there.
But we know the expenses for 2024. Like, we know them, I can see them in QuickBooks, I can see exactly, that's how I put in the number for the unemployment tax for family.
This is not me, just me and me, okay? Here's the regulations.
but you know what they're gonna do, right? They're gonna take our budget and the state,
I know what they're gonna do.
they're gonna post it just like every other budget they do. They're not gonna look at it. They're not even gonna look at it. It's really for the public to look at and complain about. And I mean, you've tried to get us in trouble with
I believe it's fraud, okay?
fraud.
It's at least malfeasance, okay? Which to me is criminal activity by a public official. I've told your lawyer this for years now. He's done nothing as an officer of the court. I think he's at risk. I think your previous accountant lied in his audit. And I have said that multiple times here.
But I mean,
If you wanna continue putting out crap year after year, at some point, it's gonna come back and bite you.
well, it's biting us. We're getting bitten right now. And
And
we're all,
the
you know,
fact, and here's my snarky remark, you guys don't pay any attention to budgets anyway. So why bother?
I disagree with that. We've been,
Well, no, you spend money without any reference to what you budgeted the year before.
Oh,
And I can demonstrate that by looking at any one of your budgets. Here,
Well, I do know that we're using our best efforts on 25.
yeah, I agree, I very much think you're trying to get it right.
In the others, we're gonna deal with in the time frame that others are giving us, our accountant and the bookkeeper. Can't light a fire under them any more than what we've tried to do. And to switch now and to go to someone else, being an accountant or not,
We've been
is
through,
just gonna delay it even more.
yeah,
I don't know when we meet on the 25 what we're gonna do. We're just gonna put the numbers right back to the way that we had them on Monday. With some correction, and that's it.
you're not wrong. Yeah. I mean, so like between what Andrea gave us, I think we all feel better about what we worked on Monday.
I do. I do.
Cause it actually has the reserves in there. I,
Is that your phone, Drew?
Yeah.
Could you shut that thing down, please? We could schedule a meeting for tomorrow, and I don't know what it's gonna do for us.
Well, we really have to kind of get it back to where it was, at least the 25, and then 23 will hopefully be audited in. My guess would be 3 weeks to a month. I mean, that's my guess, I have no idea.
Yeah,
I don't know what's, how long it takes to do an audit, you know,
Well, in the beginning, it looked like everything was going pretty good.
I mean, I've got the document that we ended Monday evening with. And
what we should do is combine your information, Ariel's new information. Try to figure out that 77,000 and where it actually goes, and then that will be the next step. And then we have to basically bring it to Andrea and say, why are you moving this stuff?
yeah, I mean, that's why we need to have a meeting with her to. But then, yeah,
And I think trying to get her here isn't going to be any better than having a Zoom.
Well, Zoom's fine, except that we're all gonna have to be right on the same page. Like, the only difference with having somebody here in person is that we can really focalize. When you're on Zoom, there's like still miscommunication that happens, but I'm not saying we have to get her here, 'cause it's gonna be probably expensive to have her here.
And not only the expense, she might say, oh, I won't be able to get there for weeks. Would be, again, subject to what she can do and what she can't
But
do.
we already postponed it, so now we just have to find a date that we're gonna try to do it again, if we're gonna do it again, or we're going to wait until the next meeting to find it again, now we have to go another one.
Right,
What differences?
what's that?
What difference does it make? I wanna run off a budget, I do wanna have a budget.
Okay. You can have a budget, you can have a budget you wanna operate, right? Maybe you only use 90% of whatever of funds you had available last year. You have statutory requirements,
right,
okay, and at some point. Despite my frustration with every organization in the world here. Somebody is gonna say, hey, you're not doing it right. And you're all out the door.
I get that to a point, but the effort. The intent is there, the effort is there.
Yeah.
We're being victimized by everything that happened before us.
Absolutely.
And so I don't know how that puts any of us in jeopardy.
Because you were in charge all that time. Not you personally, the board.
Yeah. And we take the heat for what they did in the past, and we're working through it, but we got limitations.
There is a lot of organizations out there that are running on zero, like they use up all their money. We're actually in a decent place, and we've talked about this, where we actually have some money, we're not spending everything, like, we're not blowing through money, even the money that you were talking about, like, that's missing, we put it in land, so it's literally, if we sold it, we could have money, it's not the best way to do it. But if we wanted to, we could turn around and sell that asset and get more money if we need it, but I'm not saying we should, you're not really supposed to take money that was used as an asset and start using it as your operating expenses.
What would it take to get things back to where we were on Monday, including your
Updates.
changes?
I would share, which I think. I can reshare this document we had on Monday with Ariel. And then she would have to go back through it and put the changes that she made
copy it.
into this document.
Yeah. Can you could do that, I mean,
Yeah, I can do that. I can't do that this week though.
No.
I'm already in overtime, like as we speak.
Which would be okay if
well,
we're.
we have those numbers too, so
Do
we
you
could
see
do
that as a starting point,
Yeah.
at least to get this back? Cause I wanna make sure.
Yes,
I'm just not saying-
I do. But she can't do it, so it's gonna be either Dana, I and you, so we have to figure that out. Tomorrow or tonight or whatever. 'Cause you guys are, so
Well, she's gotta read.
we have the numbers here, it's not hard to, and we could go through them. And figure out, you know what I mean?
From what our.
This budget here had Ariel's changes on it.
Yeah,
The one I have here. probably
Yeah.
now?
yeah, it's just a
Well,
matter of going through,
well,
it's like, oh, so you're saying one of us can do it without Ariel? Yeah, totally, that can happen.
And we can also switch the reserves and do all that without Ariel.
The reserves are in
So
here.
right now, I mean, and then as far as 24 and 23, we need to talk to Andrea and really nail that down.
I'm at a point where I'd rather have her ignore 25 right now. And
Yeah, I
concentrate
agree.
on 23 and 24.
Yeah, because the whole issue is that whatever we pass, even if 2025 was perfect. It's still not in compliance,
Based off of law.
because we haven't been in compliance for years. So it doesn't matter, like, it doesn't matter what this draft says, it's just already automatically not gonna be in compliance as soon as we pass it.
So why waste the time?
Because we wanna have a 25 budget that actually does function. We do know the expenses, we do know what they are gonna be. They might not be exact, absolutely exact, but they are gonna be pretty damn close.
But you don't pay any attention.
We will. That's part of the
I don't-
control.
I don't get that part.
Have you had a comparable number to work with when you're approving billings? No.
Yes, we have,
What do you mean, the comparable
Have you
number
had
from the year
a budget?
before?
From a budget to work from.
The correct
Okay.
number.
The 2024 budget, when you look at the budget and say, we're gonna spend X dollars on. Mileage, or we're gonna spend X dollars on electricity, or X dollars on, any one of your.
we went through every single
I mean-
electrical bill,
I
put it
mean-
in here.
Have you compared it to the budget item that you had?
Yeah,
I can tell you what, comparison I saw is that we were hit even not too long ago with bills for 24 and even 23 that we didn't even know existed.
Right, you had $17,000 or
Exactly,
$19,000.
that's exactly what I got in my
So
mind.
you tell me, why bother? It doesn't matter what your budget is, cause you don't have a freaking clue.
It bothers and it matters because to do nothing is not the right thing right now.
But to do the wrong thing is a waste of time.
And I don't see us
So-
necessarily doing the wrong thing.
Look,
the other thing was that, it might be statutory, it said something about if your budget isn't at $750,000, you don't even need an audit, is what I've heard.
and your budget's over that.
It was 600 and something, but,
No, it isn't. You've got to conclude your grant.
well, with the grants, but,
The grant counts in the budget.
yeah.
Well,
So,
I just can't sit back and do nothing.
Do nothing is, yeah, clearly not. We should not be doing nothing. Doing the right thing. Is that. Running off of 90%. Getting 2023 and 2024. Actual numbers in the audit. And then at the end of 2025, having actual numbers. So that when we went into 2026, we've got the actual numbers that we know are correct.
Right.
Is
So,
that the
right.
right thing to do?
well, here's the thing, is if we have a good budget for 25 that we're okay with. And Ariel is using it. And she's plugging it into QuickBooks and we're matching everything, so it's like. When we get an electric bill, it's automatically says that was for well 2RA. And we have X amount budgeted for that. And that little bit comes off of that, and then that month, we get a new report that says you have this much in your budget and you've spent this much.
Well, that's what we're doing, right? We're coding all of our expenses now.
That was the point of changing the whole
Yeah,
budget and chart of accounts so that they do match each other, so that it can be,
right. And it's like if we buy a pack of paper, it gets coded as town hall operation,
Every single,
whatever.
and that's the control, every single expense has to
Right,
be accounted for in this budget.
and
And
then,
I mean, that's the idea, that is the goal that we're trying to get to.
that's the point.
I know that there's so many mistakes and stuff. But there, when you start on day one, January 21st, 2025, we have the opportunity to create a whole new set of controls. And that's what we're doing.
I'm not criticizing the control. I think what the staff is doing, putting controls in place, what the board is doing to get those controls in place is praiseworthy. It's what should be happening.
What should be happening and continue to happen.
But to produce garbage, okay? And have it have no relationship to what's real. Based on this, if you're gonna use 90% of your budget
Right.
for 2024, you've got $500,000. You're currently estimated to spend $694,000. That's a $200,000 cut almost that you have to make in spending from the budget.
But we're locked into the 90% of 24 by circumstance, not because those are actual numbers. We know what our actual numbers are.
What-
Our best guess.
But what
are
if-
our actual numbers.
What if, here's one thing that we could do, here's an idea. We get 25 as absolutely accurate as we possibly can based on the information that we have. We turn it in with wrong numbers in 24 and wrong numbers in 23 and wrong numbers in 22. Then, as we get more information, we keep 25 the same and we supplement with new numbers in 24 and new numbers in 23 and new numbers in 22. I mean,
I thought that was the
at
direction
least
we were
we're,
going
at least
for the first-
we're trying to, I mean. When we went through when we went through the electric bills, we had the electric bills in hand and we went through every single one and we labeled them out. And we made an app, we increased them a little bit. I mean, it's a tool for planning in the future. We're not gonna get every single line right. We can't.
Okay,
We can't get every
I'm
single
just
thing
gonna use-
exactly right.
I'm gonna use your example
Yeah.
right there, okay? You
Okay.
made it there's something like 12 or between 12 and 14 electric bills.
Right.
When I left that meeting that night, we were still short one electric bill. Okay, did it get added in? I haven't gone back to
There's
check,
12.
and then when this,
Yeah, so that needs to be accounted for. I
okay,
agree. It needs to be
okay, so
accounted.
all I'm saying is. There's a small mistake. That is there. I don't think it matters whether you turn the budget in, okay? You're better off turning in an accurate piece of a document than to turn in a pile of garbage continually.
Okay, so
year after
If
year.
25 is not, we've been focusing on 25 in such a good way, in my opinion. You contributed to it
Yeah,
and so.
I think you did
I
a great
think,
job.
I think we're really trying to get 25 right, and January 1st, if we just said. The town started on January 1st, 25, and everything in the past is bankruptcy, whatever, I don't know what you wanna call it. And we come in with a certain amount of money.
Yeah.
And we come in with a certain revenue, and we come in with certain expenses. I mean, that is kind of what we're trying to get to, that point where we can honestly take control of the expenses and the revenue. I mean, I'm just saying like 24, there might be some mistakes that when we catch them later, we could actually go back and say, okay, there was $40,000. Can we take that out of our bank account and transfer it into another fund? And we can do that.
You can only do that as long as you have money. Okay, at what point in this process, when you realize that, oh, we ran out of money in the bank, we can't.
We're not running out of money in the bank though, not in
have
this
the
budget,
potential for doing that.
not really. No, I mean, The other night, we balanced the budget.
No, you didn't.
Yes, we did. We had more. The only reason why we didn't balance it completely was because that 56,000 that we haven't even gotten a bill yet for.
Look,
This is messed up now.
David got very mad at me months ago, okay, when I said you guys can't read. All right? Here. If
It
you want
says-
a copy of it, it's right off of Dollar's site.
There's
Go
nobody
read it
in the
And
freaking,
see what it says, all right? All I'm saying is, this is what the law says, this is what you should do. You all have the potential, you can't turn in a negative budget unless you have the money there to do it. And you have no idea at this point accurately to know whether you're off by 40,000, 240,000, 4,000. You don't have a clue.
yes, we
Go
do.
call Brandy Sneed, okay? Get her in here and give her this stuff to see. Or ask her for her recommendation on what you should do. You don't have to listen to me. Here's the law, do what the law says.
I'll call Andy.
If she tells you to turn in a pile of garbage, go right ahead and do it.
I am willing to tonight go through the document that Andrea sent us and take Ariel's changes and put them into the document we had on Monday. I don't need to be around any of you to do that.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't have to be here to do that.
Okay. We made, okay,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And I can send that out to everyone.
Okay.
And then, I mean, we've already delayed the public hearing. I think that that's probably a
Okay.
good idea.
okay,
Um,
alright,
because we can't, I don't think that I can do that and send it to you guys and then we approve that as a draft.
No.
Right?
No.
I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer either. To what is like the exact right move. What I do know is the right move is that we do have to actually be keeping track of what we're spending in a very real way that is related to our budget, and if we run out of money in an area, then we can't just keep spending money in it. And we have to know that. So I will take those numbers.
I'd be happy to sit with you, tomorrow afternoon if you want.
To,
To go through this with you.
This a work session, do we have to post it?
If you're
if
there,
there's more than two of us, then we would have to post it. So which
we can do it,
I can meet tomorrow,
maybe at 4, post it
4 o'clock in the evening. Okay,
afternoon. I don't think it's evening. Can you do that? Or 5?
Anytime.
after dark would be better because
Okay,
I need
how
to
about-
get a bunch of stuff done,
How about 5:30?
but we do need to post it. If we post,
5:30 here?
Sure.
Okay,
you guys.
you don't have to be here if you don't, I mean, unless you. If you're going into overtime.
Yeah.
I can't be here,
Okay, I'll open the door here, so at least we're okay. Just as long as you post it, notice it before 5:30 today.
I can still go through tonight and make those adjustments, just so that they are ready
I can print them.
for tomorrow.
Some-
You don't need to print me one,
Okay,
I'd rather look at them.
Okay.
So is there a motion on the table?
no, we're done with the motion. Now we just want to move on to, first Southwest Bank agreement real quick. We just need that to be approved. It's just technicality for the bank so that we can see all of our accounts at once.
Okay, I make a motion to approve the first Southwest Bank operating agreement.
Second. All in favor?
I would like to correct section,
Oh, discussion.
section 3.1. We're trying to get away from administrator. Should we put management?
It's not a town administrator, this is what First Southwest Bank asks for, it's administrator of the cash management account.
Oh,
Very
okay.
specific.
Well, then, never mind.
Okay, so that's all in favor?
Aye.
Alright, okay. Next, we have C, First West Southway signatories, so there was an issue that came up, and I don't know exactly why, but Kim, there was something that got emailed to you, a bunch of stuff. And because it wasn't done online, there was signatories that needed to be done, and those got everything got backed up, in that. I mean, you wanna explain further?
First Southwest Bank has been sending documents to sign electronically, and they say that they're expiring in your inbox. It's getting signed by everyone, but it's not being signed by you, and then it expires, so they don't have up-to-date signatories for us.
So basically, if they send it out to everybody, everybody has to sign, and if it gets stalled on one person, nothing gets signed.
Then they have to send it electronically according to their auditor, they won't let me go pick it up and have you sign it like physically.
So she just needs to log in and then do an electric.
They said either
When does it expire?
sign electronically, or they said to remove you as a signatory and put someone on who can get the emails and sign them.
I mean, she'd be willing, you were, I mean, if you had to do it with you,
Yeah.
but you have to come here, it's gonna take a little time.
We just have to figure out what's going on with your email essentially, if you're not getting it, or you can't get
Yeah.
into your email, or
You
whatever.
might not even see, cause they're actually a little weird when they come in. So what do you wanna do? You wanna work with her, or do you
I'll
want
just work with Ariel, I guess.
Okay,
and when do they expire?
I don't have a time, it's when she sends it, she needs it signed within a certain amount of time. So, and also, I mean, we've had the issue with your email where you're not getting my notices, so we just need to figure out how to like have you be in the loop email wise.
Right, cause, yeah, I'm not getting anything, that's why I turned in the tablet, I'm like, this is doing me no good.
No, it's kind of dull.
Well, yeah, I mean, cause this is kind of important, because now we're completely backed up on all of this signature stuff.
Okay, well,
Yes,
Gotta remove Adam.
And that also,
he hasn't resigned yet.
Officially, he has not officially resigned.
he wants to
So
send
two
a
more
letter.
weeks.
but you can still remove him as a signatory.
Right now?
Yeah, if you want to, he doesn't have to resign for it, and I would suggest that you put trustee Bob Disney on, because he's on the finance committee.
So, we need a motion. Even though he hasn't resigned, we're going to remove him from the signatories.
Who are our signatories right now, Ariel?
Our signatories right now are Mayor Byer, trustee Kinney, myself, and trustee Martinez.
Okay, so we would need two different people. Potentially,
They
or one
also-
different person.
This might
We
get,
put Patty on, because she's deputy treasurer now.
Ooh,
Absolutely not.
absolutely not.
It's not about Patty, and I think it's puts you in a terrible position as treasurer. Where
if you have two staff, yes, I agree, it should be
it
Dennis,
should be two people that are not responsible for the accounting.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah, I mean,
That's, I'm not tied to it, it was
It's
suggested by
not-
the bank.
this is nothing that you do with
We don't have
your
enough.
person, this has to do with.
Okay, I'll get with these tomorrow, good, or?
okay, but we need a
I
motion
can't
to,
do anything more this week, I'm
Okay.
absolutely, I'm 2 hours into overtime.
Okay, well, give me a phone call or
I could do
something,
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Tuesday, next week.
just make sure it didn't expire.
I make a motion that we remove trustee Ann Kenny from the signatory list.
I second.
All in favor?
I make a motion to add trustee Paslusny as a signatory.
There a second? All in favor?
Aye.
And I vote on my own.
Yeah.
Right.
Who was the second one?
Sean,
He's gonna be the pro tem now.
okay, We don't know yet.
He hasn't resigned yet.
Next, we have this McAlpin thing. Do you guys wanna, open up the doors for McAlpin to do the class in here? You see the
think it does any harm.
problem is that Saturday is not a day that you at work normally, so what would, you have to come in here and open for them, or give them a key, or
I give him the key
For that
to
one?
return.
to be returned? Okay.
Did he say why it has to be here?
He needs a
It's got
place
that.
with running water and
Oh.
bathroom, so he can't do it in the museum. He wanted to do it at the charter school, but they're requiring insurance from him, and I don't believe that he's covered under our insurance. But that's a
Would
question.
this would be the bathroom that they use, not the hallway, so you didn't have to give them both keys? Hey, what do you guys think?
Who's that for?
McAlpin, he runs the museum.
I think it's fine.
Huh?
It's fine.
Okay,
Yeah,
That's
so make a motion, please.
I make a motion to let Jim McAlpin have his museum thing in order.
Right, second.
All in favor? Lastly, I wanna talk about the Rick's grant. It was, there's some stuff with that I really should have went through the board probably as far as the cemetery. However,
This include the gate being closed,
this is not closed, locked.
is locked, does this include the
We
gate?
need
being
to
locked?
discuss that a little bit. The Bricks grant specifically said that we were gonna donate the wood to an organization and they would distribute it. And the reason you do that specifically is because of fairness. What it does is it goes to one, the town just says one organization gets it, and then that organization gets to distribute it however they distribute it. It's a nonprofit, and so for people to go out there and collect wood and then distribute it on their own, it goes against what the grant was, how the grant was, and that's why it got cut off. It's town property until town donates it to Neighbors Helping Neighbors. If you wanna go to Neighbors Helping Neighbors and say, can I get wood for these people? That's fine. I know that it's one more step. Right?
Yeah.
It is one more step because somebody's gonna have to collect it and bring it to Neighbors Helping Neighbors, but the distribution, we got in trouble last time because people were grabbing wood. And I think it was a grant got in trouble, not us particularly. A grant got in trouble for distributing wood to people that were, it was like, there was no fairness.
Yeah.
And so we gotta be really careful of being fair because somebody's gonna say, hey, I didn't get any wood, like, why didn't Andrew give me wood? You see what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden we have to figure out, okay, well, that's not the way it was supposed to be.
So we have to donate our wood to Neighbors Helping Neighbors,
Yeah.
not
That's what the agreement
individuals.
says.
Can neighbors have their neighbors direct people,
And then-
okay, go pick it up from that wood pile?
That's what he's about, that was in.
No, because it's a liability for them to go onto the property and collect it themselves.
Drew, you really put us in a bad spot jumping the gun on that one.
No,
I know you
We were told to
got.
get the wood,
No,
everybody was told to
No
go
one
out.
told
When I talked to the people out there doing the mitigation, you know.
they didn't know though.
They don't know the grant.
Oh, well,
It
I
should have
talked to the person, he goes, yeah, it's here for the taking.
So it was a miscommunication.
Good intentions, though,
it's-
communication.
There's a
Another
miscommunication.
example of how like Allison needs to be the manager, like Daniel needs to be instructed to not just say, cause that's not Andrew's fault, that's Daniel's fault.
Yeah,
So like,
it's not your
Daniel
fault.
needs to be instructed. If somebody comes and asks a question like that, if Steve comes up to you about what you're cutting, Allison is the manager of the grant, she needs to.
She
deal
had
with
something
issues.
happen in that time period that screwed a lot of things up. There was a,
And which
Personal
Daniel just
issue.
needs to be like, I don't know, we need to talk to Allison, if this seems like a problem, I need to back off, or like, I shouldn't be making
Right.
statements I don't know
Right.
about. So.
right,
That's that issue, and now we know that we need that wood to be donated to Neighbors Helping Neighbors specifically.
specifically, because that was what was written in the grant
Right.
as the organization that distributes.
Which I think they will,
Not the
they
town.
would be happy to come and pick it up, like Donovan and the crew go out, all Donovan Spitzman. You'd know him, Sean, he's part of Neighbors Helping Neighbors.
Oh, okay, I thought
Yeah.
you meant mitigation crew.
Pirate ship there.
Yeah,
But in the meantime, you've got a bunch stuff is that came from there, this stuff?
Yeah, and that's, getting split up and that's wait for the middle of February, when everybody runs out of wood. And where did they go? To my house. So I'm just kind of stockpiling a little bit, so they don't get into my
Well,
stuff.
and if I may, I'm a little insulted. That the accusation that he might be a thief or trying to destroy this grant or whatever. I thought he was trying to do a good deed for our citizens,
And that's fine.
priority
That's-
for our
it's just-
citizens. And to even remotely insinuate that he was a thief offends me to the bone. Now, if I was to steal your car, do you think I would park it in my driveway? No. I mean, we're not hiding it. It's right there.
That's not the point.
And, you know, some of these older
Do you
people.
remember
No,
when we brought the grant up originally?
I don't
Remember,
recall-
if you remember,
I
you're the one
recall saying-
that spoke
I
out for it.
recall saying that we wanted it to stay within Crestone citizens. That's the only thing I remember.
But do you remember how we were
I
gonna
remember
do that? There was a
neighbors
way we were
mentioning-
gonna do it.
Neighbors helping neighbors, and I remember, oh, how some of these little old ladies can't get out there because of their vehicles and they don't have the brawn. And one thing or another, but another thing, locking the cemetery, lock the back gate. I've got relatives out there. A lot of people drive from Monte Vista to go over there, and the state states that you have to post it. If there's a problem with vandalism or any other problem with the public cemetery, you can close it at night. And guess who gets to close it at night? Fred can do that. He can lock it up at night, but it has to be posted, what our hours are. But you can't not that's disturbing. I got there's text all over this town.
Yeah.
People are very upset about that. And you know what? It seems to me like somebody overstepped their authority, because I don't recall the board ever saying, lock it up. And that sounds like a policy issue to me. It's a policy
We had
issue,
a
and our
situation-
staff does not make policy.
We had a situation where people were going there, no one knew that they were authorized or not authorized. There was a lot of questions to be asked, and I would agree with the decision to secure the property until we found out what was going on. And I would still stand by that today. I don't ever remember anyone coming, Drew or you, anyone else, coming to the board and said, we're gonna do this. Not one person. So if there's any blame to be had,
We were
I
telling
would
all
say-
kinds of people,
not at a board meeting, there was
No.
nothing at a board meeting.
no,
And we are
There
the
was
ones
nothing that
that are
stated we needed.
responsible, as a group for the cemetery.
agreed.
And that's where it began and that's where it ends. So if someone is gonna do something on their own, that was wrong. They needed to let us know first.
I don't think he was acting on his own. I think he was acting for our community. We're not selling it. You know, it's right there.
But here's the thing is,
And I apologize if there was some miscommunication.
no, there's a
But
miscommunication.
There was no
That
communication.
Neighbors
Well,
helping
it's not
neighbors
both
is
on
the-
our side, on the backside also.
the reason why
So, you
neighbors
know,
helping
that's our
neighbors,
fault.
the
For
reason
not
why,
having the leadership to state it impact who and what. Personally, my sister's out there. She does not want a traffic jam going out there. She said, delegate one or two people to go out there and have a list. But this ridiculous proposal, my goodness, Pete,
what's that?
from Brent. I mean, you gotta document how much, half a cord, 3/4 of a cord, or sound measurements. And then you have to get a signature from the person who received it, and you know,
I mean, it's just so that it's for the grant, you know,
well,
like,
and I thought volunteers, that time they spent would help
On their
their
property.
grant. And he's got 5 young men, 25 to 18, that are
Okay.
willing, that they're bored to tears.
Let's back
They
up.
wanna go out there and hang
Let's back
out,
up,
do some work.
let's back up for a second.
Okay, fine.
If it's your property, you can just give them permission and they can go out there and collect wood and donate it. It's the town's property, so the town makes the decision. We've made the decision that it all goes to an organization that distributes it fairly. If he doesn't get a call from somebody and they're like, where'd all that wood go? And like somebody who doesn't know him,
Okay,
he knows a certain amount of people, but Neighbors Helping Neighbors is an organization, they're a nonprofit, they're wide open. So in other words, he's making the decision who it goes to, not Neighbors Helping Neighbors.
his request, he's not deciding anything.
He's deciding.
Okay, so are you gonna designate me as the person for neighbors?
No, you're not gonna do anything.
No, Neighbors Helping Neighbors needs to
Well-
designate somebody. If they,
In writing, or can it be
Right.
verbal from Mary, or?
I would say it should probably come from their board, because they have a
No.
distribution.
You're not gonna help at all. Cut the cord.
Nobody, I don't think anybody,
No more assistance, no more help, no more mechanicing, no more volunteering, nothing.
okay, like, I don't think anybody thinks Andrew is acting out of spite. Or that he would be unfair about how he distributes wood. It's just simply that there's a grant and we have to follow what we put in it. And so nobody thinks Andrew
Well,
has done anything
I
wrong.
apologize in that.
And I don't think that us getting petty with one another is going to help anything at all.
You don't think this is petty? Why do you think that's so hot? I think this is petty. And who authorized this person to submit that letter to him stating what he's gonna do? I didn't go on it. And then a receptionist also misquoted a citizen in this town twice day before yesterday and twice yesterday.
Is it not?
Let's meet Brent and he'll unlock it so that he can show where to go.
And that is an issue as
Well, that's
well.
fine, we didn't
So that's
set out
another
the
issue,
rules.
so let's
We
talk
did
about.
not set out the rules, not clear enough for me to understand, because I do
don't
not
think-
recall that it was specifically, I thought it was citizens of the town of Crestone. So I apologize that I might have missed something in that translation.
Okay.
But at this juncture,
I'll take ownership of that. I asked that we have a cohesive message and that was not done. I could have done better to make sure that we did have a cohesive message. All I asked was that we talk about this at the next meeting, which we are right now. So I apologize that Patty misspoke. I have talked to her about that. I've asked her to not advise on things of that nature
and
until.
she stated only one board member needed to approve somebody to go out there, which wasn't me. But it was somebody else that was, her mate was gonna go out with.
And what happened yesterday before was an effort on a group of people, staff and elected officials trying to figure out what was going on. No one knew. And the best effort I think was made was just to protect the cemetery, stop the activity until we found out what was going on. And that was the intent. It was just to get control of the situation, find out what was going on, and then as Ariel said, the board would act on it at the next regular.
Well, you better put a sign up, cause somebody's gonna start tearing that fence down.
Can we unlock the cemetery now? Now that we know what's going on, can't we unlock it?
I mean, if you want your back gate,
The problem also wasn't that just, it wasn't even like about, and from what I can understand from Frank, it's that other people are going to the cemetery and taking wood as well. It wasn't that Andrew is taking wood, it's that we don't know where the wood is going at all. It's going to many people. I heard the fire department took wood. I heard random hunters were taking wood.
Okay.
Those are the reports they were getting in, so it was just, as Dennis, or Trustee Paulson said, an effort to try and figure out what's going on, get on the same page and get approval from the board.
As well as
So we need,
trying to follow. Number one, if somebody gets hurt out there, it's gonna be on our liability, because somebody gave permission to go out there and get wood, we don't know who it was, number one. Number two, that wood is directed specifically to go through these channels.
so we
And
need
so-
to get a designated representative from Neighbors Helping Neighbors to get on a schedule to come out there and get the wood. And in the meantime,
Or Brent. Is
or
Mary
we
still
just,
sick?
yeah, I mean, or,
Brent or, no?
if Andrew's in cahoots with Neighbors Helping Neighbors and talks to Mary, like he already offered to do. Go and talk to Neighbors Helping Neighbors and become a representative for them. Like, he just offered to do that,
Okay, but
No,
which is not on the table anymore, but like, or if Brent wants to go and take it to Neighbors Helping Neighbors, then like, that seems like what we need to have happen.
I just think that it could have been worked out from the beginning, probably. We need to just go back a little bit and say. The cemetery is not. Supposed to be locked.
No. And people are very pissed about it.
Right. We should
Unlock.
direct him to unlock it.
Yes.
Getting more pissed about it. every
If
now-
people go outside of the boundaries. And collect wood, I would say it's town property and it's stealing. Until we have something worked out. With the people who were supposed to do it, it's just two things happening, so if they're going out there and collecting wood on their own after it's unlocked. It's considered stealing.
Can someone or Brett put a sign up there? Please do not take this wood.
I don't want that ball.
I think that's a great idea. I
You
think that's
can't,
a
it's just wide
mitigation of
open.
the
It's
problem.
so easy to
If
go
they
in
do
there.
take it down, they know it's breaking.
That they're-
The back gate on
Yeah.
the cemetery can be chained and locked. You know, it's just one of the bail overs, but you put the chain in the middle of the post. It's locked.
Is that, and
Because people-
that'll prevent people from,
Yeah, cause the other way, you got stumps up this high that people aren't gonna drive.
so maybe we
So why don't-
direct Brent to switch the lock. To the other side of the cemetery, so that people.
Well, let's just get it unlocked, the front gate unlocked now.
Yeah.
Maybe put a sign on the wood, this wood is property, neighbors helping neighbors, please do not take it, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think.
I mean, it's scattered all over, it's not just. in there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is,
Well, let's unlock the front gate for sure. And, you
And
know,
lock the back.
lock the back gate for now and get in touch with Neighbors Help. I mean, I can send Mary a
I think she's
text.
been sick, and Eden's in Hawaii, I know that.
I can send Donovan a text, who's part of Neighbors Helping Neighbors,
Yeah.
and see what.
Okay.
See if they can come and pick up wood in the near future.
Is that understandable?
And, you know, Andrew, I'm sorry for any miscommunication that is now being laid on you, or if you were accused of being something you're not.
No, then I jumped again, I guess, cause. You know, I went on the guy's word that was out there doing the mitigation, he goes, yeah, that's where
Yeah,
it's
it's not your fault, dude.
I mean, we did talk about it and I did want it to come before the board before anything happened. I didn't realize until later that we had it agreed upon, the Neighbors Helping Neighbors was supposed to take it. But I thought it was supposed to be donated properly, but I
that was
didn't,
my point.
huh?
That was what I
Yeah.
thought.
And, I mean, if you remember, this caused a problem last time.
I don't remember that.
You brought it up, you brought it up that, you remember when we talked about wood, you had brought up specifically that you wanted to make sure that
It went to town
it went to
people.
town people.
'Cause they have
Because
their own litigation
When
over
they,
there.
because of
They
the
can
problems
have
they
their
had
own-
before, actually.
I
There were-
gotta
there were
go.
problems, okay.
I make a
Good.
motion to adjourn. Or I can just leave if we don't need to vote on anything.
Do we need a vote on that or anything?
I don't think so.
Is there a second? To adjourn,
To adjourn, let's second.
all in favor? Aye. All in favor? Aye. Thanks for the night. I'm gonna leave it here.